The verdict was legal, every word approved. Every argument weighed, every rule respected. The damage was permanent. If this story is touching you, comment below where you're watching from and what time it is there. When people hear the word verdict, they imagine an ending, a conclusion, a line drawn beneath something painful. I learned the hard way that verdicts don't end stories. They end responsibility. I still remember the day it was delivered, not because of what was said, but because of how ordinary it felt. There was no dramatic pause, no sudden silence, just a voice reading something that had already been decided long before I walked into that room. I stood there listening, trying to understand how words could sound so neutral while dismantling a life so completely. The verdict acknowledged facts. It recognized evidence. It followed precedent. It didn't acknowledge impact. They told me it was fair, that the decision was balanced, that the law had spoken clearly. No one asked what it would cost me. The truth is, the damage didn't begin with the verdict. The verdict just made it irreversible. The process leading up to it was slow, measured, procedural. At first, I believed in it. Believed that if I explained myself clearly enough, the outcome would reflect reality. I documented everything. Saved messages, organized timelines. I believed truth was cumulative. What I didn't understand was that truth is filtered. Some truths are admissible, some are inconvenient. The things that mattered most to me, fear, exhaustion, loss, were never invited into the room. They told me to focus on facts. So I did, and slowly I learned what had no value there. I learned that pain has no weight unless it can be quantified. That loss means nothing unless it's financial. When I spoke, I chose my words carefully. I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. I thought restraint would earn respect. It earned indifference. Across from me, the other side spoke confidently. They had practiced. They had language that fit the room. I realized then that the law isn't a mirror. It's a filter. By the time the verdict came, the version of me that existed in the room barely resembled the one who had lived the experience. That version was meek, simplified, safe. The verdict validated that version. Not me. When it was over, people nodded. Some whispered. Someone patted my shoulder and said, "At least it's done." Done. As if something had been fixed. Outside the building, the world continued. Cars passed. People laughed. I stood there holding a decision that had just amputated my future. The damage wasn't dramatic. It was structural. I lost stability. I lost certainty. I lost the sense that effort leads to protection. The verdict didn't destroy me instantly. It dismantled me slowly. At night, I replayed everything, not the arguments. The moments I wasn't allowed to mention, I replayed the fear, the waiting, the feeling of being trapped in a process I couldn't influence. None of that mattered legally. All of it mattered permanently. People expected me to move on, to adapt, to accept the ruling as closure. But closure requires resolution. This was only finality. The verdict closed the case. It didn't close the wound. I began noticing how often people confuse legality with justice. They use the words interchangeably. They're not the same. Justice implies repair. The verdict implied compliance. The damage showed up in unexpected ways. I flinched at official emails. My chest tightened around formal language. My body reacted before my mind could rationalize. That's how you know damage is permanent. When it lives somewhere deeper than logic, I tried to rebuild. That's what everyone advises. Start over. Turn the page. But how do you rebuild when the system that was supposed to protect you is the one that broke you? Trust doesn't grow back easily. I questioned everything. My judgment, my memory, my worth. Because when a verdict contradicts your experience, you start doubting yourself. The law spoke with authority. My pain had none. Therapy helped me name things. Institutional trauma. Moral injury. Those words gave shape to what I felt. They didn't undo it. The verdict followed me. In job interviews, in relationships, and how I saw myself. I became careful, guarded, always calculating risk. That's another permanent effect. You don't return to who you were. People sometimes asked if I would appeal. I laughed quietly. Appeal what? The ruling was correct. That was the problem. Correct rulings can still destroy lives. The law measures outcomes, not aftermaths. I realized that the system isn't designed to minimize harm. It's designed to resolve disputes. Harm is collateral. The verdict didn't see me afterward, didn't see the nights I couldn't sleep, the relationships that faded, the confidence that never returned. It didn't see the person I became. Sometimes I imagine what it would have felt like if someone had said, "This is legal, but it will hurt you." That honesty would have mattered. Instead, the language was clean, reassuring, final. Finality is comforting for systems. It's devastating for people. The damage wasn't loud. It was quiet, persistent, permanent. I don't talk about it much anymore. Not because it doesn't matter. Because people don't know what to do with stories like this. There's no villain, no injustice to protest. Just a verdict that did exactly what it was designed to do. And a person who paid the price. I exist now with limitations I didn't choose. With caution that feels unnatural. I understand the law better now. And trust it less. Because legality doesn't guarantee humanity. The verdict was legal. Every step correct. Every rule honored. The damage was permanent. And there is no appeal for that.